just always want to put my best out there. I always want to, help people and, bring everybody together. But it's really about connecting with, your soul tribe. What resonates with you the most? Something resonates, even if, if you do, maybe that reader came across, for a while just for that specific reason. And then, it was a change agent. When we're going through high school, so to speak, a lot of the times our friends change. Now we have, our main ones that we just we know that we, as soon as you meet them, we gonna be in it for the long haul. We're all connected. Everybody, people, we should be able to mingle with everybody, even those, of contrasting differences. So, even though, you may come across a reading or, or a message or a post that has conflicting views or is different from yours, an opposing viewpoint, is not necessarily just rejecting it. Sometimes hearing out those that, we don't necessarily agree with or resonate still gives us a growth. It gives us knowledge as well, to be able to see the world through another's perspective and another person's reality and what it is that they believe, So you might come across somebody that, don't agree with you and be like, you know what? I don't agree. But I feel like, where it is you're going, you might get along with this. Look, check this out. You might be able to pass it along. That could have been why you came across it in the first place, to be able to pass it along to somebody else. Take part in different viewpoints and realities. It's what makes the world as beautiful as it is. I said this, plenty of times before, especially, yes, y'all know I'm about to take it to food. Yes, when it comes to food, if every culture ate the same thing, that's like, look, when you a kid, what you want to do? I want a Happy Meal. You want a Happy Meal all the time, or you want to go to Chuck E. Cheese. Eventually, no matter what toy come along with that Happy Meal, you're going to be like, all right, I'm tired of cheeseburgers, hamburgers, nuggets, and fries. It's really about resonating with someone and a reader, and really getting, those messages. And you may have the ability to blend with 2 or 3. It might be 2 or 3 readers spread all around the country, all around the world, but we all got the same soul tribe. It might be, you might have 4 or 5 of them. You might be able to go between a few readers and a few soul tribes and soul groups and be like, I kind of resonate with a little bit of all of y'all. It's, you might be able for your own, like, hey, I can go be a little nomad and traveler too. Like, oh, you do that too? I do that too. I do that too. It reminded me of the movie Black Panther, because in that movie, there were all those different soul tribes, all those different tribes, and they owned it. They did their own thing. They had the ones that was out in the plains. They had the ones out in the mountains and the snow and stuff. You had, the ones that was in the city. You had the ones that were the herders. Their duty, their job, their responsibility to meet with everyone, to be able to have a sense of consensus. Everybody, every reader, we're all here to do the same thing. We're all here to have the same purpose, the same job, regardless of how the information or the messages or the beliefs or the principles is coming out. As long as, you all about, empowering yourself and motivating and spreading love and kindness and sharing, hey, free hugs, sharing is caring. As long as you have a good heart, a good spirit, a good soul, and even if you don't, and you're trying to change, come on in, dang it, come on in. Everybody has it in them to change, because nobody on this earth is born evil. Nobody on this earth is born bad. Even, those with medical conditions, because even if it's something that can be controlled, whether it's through, medication, as long as it's putting you in a place of stability, so then you can create stability and peace and solid foundations in all aspects of your life, that's what matters. It doesn't matter whether you have to take medication or not. It doesn't matter if you have to meditate or not. It doesn't matter. Everybody has their own thing. Some of us, we meditate. Some of us have to take, medication. Some of us have to, have a dark night of the soul. Some of us have to lose our religion and come back. Some of us, there's so many multiple facets and aspects of us. It can't be narrowed down into one thing, or all these classifications and grouping is what makes it even harder, because it's more of a separation. It's more of taking people apart and putting them in these different categories, and then using those categories to be like, well, you're different because of this, and then using that in a derogatory way when it should be used in a way to uplift, to empower, to motivate, to inspire you. Be like, hey, no, you're only in this group because based off of similar characteristics or personas or lifestyles or grouping or classifications, whatever, we would presume you'll be more comfortable there. And yes, other people do place us in categories, but it's all about where you decide to place yourself, where it is that you feel that you belong, where it is that you see yourself belonging and being. And some of us do form a little bit of, codependency, and it does happen. We get so used to and so prone to receiving help, to being in need of something, that it becomes a safety net. It becomes, our comfort zone. And it does take a lot of courage to step outside your comfort zone, to step out on that ledge, to be the fool card and take a leap of faith. It does. Because you're stepping out your comfort zone. So that means you're making yourself uncomfortable, but for a better purpose, for something higher, something better, to push you to the next level. It's no different than going from kindergarten to first grade to second grade to third grade to fourth grade. Yeah, every time, we have through going into first grade, you're a little uncomfortable the first day of school. You happy, you're nervous, you're excited, but you don't like it. But either way, it's uncomfortable. Then throughout the year, you get comfortable. That's your little comfort zone. And then now, oh wait, hold on, I gotta go to the third grade? I gotta go to the second grade? What change is there for? And sometimes it does take, a radical change. Sometimes it does take a dark night of a soul, a tower moment, the devil card to pop up, to be able to push you, to give you that motivation to make some radical changes in your life so that you can do better. Because God wants us to do better, to enjoy life, to really, really embrace it to the fullest, and be able to find pleasure and a piece of happiness through every experience, regardless of what it is. With all this being said, with all that being said, it's really about coming together and everybody doing the same thing. Like, I've noticed, competition and people like copying and things of that nature. Hey, look, you gotta fake it till you make it, and do what you gotta do. How I look at, when somebody kind of copies or, does something that I do, I pick up on that real quick. Like, before it used to irritate me. Like, I ain't gonna sit up here and lie. It was an idiosyncrasy, like, dude, like, because I like being different. But I had to learn and grow, and change my outlook, my perspective, my view on life. Like, well, you know what? Don't dwell on the negative part. Think about the positive part about it. Obviously, you must be doing something right. Even that person may be, spiteful or, a little jelly, We all have a jealous moment. Now, there's negative jealousy and then there's positive jealousy. The positive jealousy is that, like, man, they look like they got it all. Like, what are they doing? I need to know what they doing. I need to hang around that person. That's that positive jealousy. My granny used to always tell me that, you want to hang around the people that are in the position that you want to be in. That way you can gather their knowledge and information and pick up on how, their personas and how they present themselves, because it's there somewhere, It may not be just a boom, boom, bam, bam, set out list. They're like, hey, man, well, how'd you go? Well, here you go. Here's a list. It's a checklist. That's how I got there. There's little things that, you know, you have to, and then you adjust that to what fits you. But, you know, it's not changing yourself to be just like that person. No, it's using what works for you based off of what it is that you learned, what it is that you picked up, and making it right for you in your authentic self, in your authentic truth. But going back to the movie, the Black Panther, it's all those tribes. So imagine those are all the different soul tribes that, you know, with all the readers that we're able to, you know, connect with, and them coming together and doing, you know, what's good. Like, yeah, there was like a representative out of each one. That was even, you know, how the Native Americans did it back in the day. You know, they had all the tribes. Now, yeah, you know, a couple of them to fight. Yeah, you're not going to agree with everything all the time, and somebody's going to say something or do something. You be like, okay, I feel like that was wrong. They can go, I feel like you wrong. You know, it happens. You know, we gonna learn something from it. Dang it. You know, everything happens for a reason. We may not understand at that time, but you know what? And it turns out, for whatever reason, turns out to be for the greatest good of all, regardless of what it is. But for the most part, they came together, you know, to be able to have something similar, to be able to have a sense of broader community within their little communities, and spreading that out with another community, because, you know, we're all connected, and we all, you know, sharing this piece of land. Yeah, you might be 10,000 miles away, yeah, you might be 100,000 miles away, but you know, we're still all connected in this. We're still all a part of this. And a soul tribe is no different. It's no different than that. You know, there's nothing wrong with going and kicking it with with people who believe in pure astrology, and those who believe in God, or those that believe in source, or those that believe in spirit, or those that believe in the law of attraction. You know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, or Buddhism, or, you know, multiple gods, or astral projection, or Reiki, or herbal remedies. You know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because all everybody's trying to do is live their best life. That's all we're trying to do. We all trying to live our best life. So why don't we all live our best lives together and learning from each other because of the differences? Not staying separate because of the differences or despite the differences. No, you use those differences and bring them all together. Bring them all together, one love. You know? In this one house that we have called the world, the earth, the universe, if you even want to take it to a galactical level, you know? Because, yeah, we may live in separate individual soul tribes. We may live in separate communities. We may resonate with different cultures. And that's going from the broader all the way down to the lower perspective. We may resonate with different lifestyles, different ways of eating, different ways of how we view being happy, and what's pleasure and what's not. You know, as long as ain't nobody, you know, hurting nobody, and, you know, spreading nothing, and spreading, you know, any type of STDs around here. And well, yeah, those STDs too, but spiritually transmitted demons. That's what we talking about. You know, hey, we good. And yeah, it's gonna happen. But, you know, it's containment, controlling it, and be like, okay, we gotta clear this demon up real quick. Or karma, you know, whatever term, because essentially it's all the same story. It's all the same bottom principle, and is operating on a frequency of love, operating on a frequency of togetherness, of oneness, of a collective coming together, truly coming together as one, despite the differences anybody and everybody has and holds and believes and maintains. Now, if that's not beautiful and powerful and awesome sauciness and fantasticness, and y'all know all my crazy words, that's some shiitake mushrooms for your steak right there. I don't know what is. I don't know what is. And everybody operate on a frequency of love and be able to come. Like, that's why I love where I am right now. There are so many different cultures, so many different lifestyles, so many different ways of being and everything. And so many different economic statuses and levels and spiritual beliefs and principles and practices and languages, even everything. But nobody lets these different barriers stop them from still coming together and communicating somehow, some way, some shape, some form. Yeah, it really brought me back to Wakanda, and that's why I say Wakanda forever when I introduce my channel, because that movie inspired me. It was one of the factors that helped push and trigger my spiritual awakening, because I was like, wow, like that could truly and really be the world. Like, seriously, like everybody putting aside the differences of stopping the war. And yeah, you know, there's those like, well, you know, we're all here stuff and we need to go and avenge. And, you know, T'Challa was like, and, you know, that was Killmonger. T'Challa was like, well, you know, everybody, we can't just do it all that way. You know, sometimes you got to be able to. And then at the end, he realized, like, okay, yeah, we should do it out of love and everything. And yeah, you know, but we should also stop, you know, what is not right. But we can't be too nice and too overgiving. But we can't just be full of anger, retaliation, and revenge. So it's finding that balance between the two, and that's basically maintaining your borders, you know, maintaining, you know, your boundaries, and be like, okay, you know what, this is my space, but I ain't gonna let you step over my boundaries now. You able to do what it is that you do, and all freeness and happiness and everything. But then when you start stepping over my boundaries, then I'm gonna let you know, you know. And that's another thing with, you know, being spiritual. You know, it's the fact that it's really about living your best life. It's not about any certain rituals or any certain things like, well, you have to meditate, you have to be vegan, you have to. No, you do what's best for you that makes you the happiest. That could be listening to music. That's what it's all about. It's growing, maturing, and embarrassing yourself so that you can grow and give that out to the world. Spread love around, because love is the only thing that's real. Love. There's nothing else but love. The frequency, the true wholehearted frequency of love. Love and happiness. Love and happiness. Okay. You know, it reminds me of the song Kurt Franklin, Do You Want to Be Happy? You know, he's talking about, you know, do you want to be happy? And basically, you know, we say we want to be happy, but then we don't want to change. But then we expect, you know, the world to change around us to make ourselves happy. No, it starts with us. It starts on the inside. It starts right here with you. Not, you know, anywhere else. Not on the outside. Because what we manifest on the inside is then going to be projected into the outside. As above, so below. As within, as without. Boomerang. Law of attraction. Karma. You know, learning all those spiritual lessons. Repentance. Confession. Meditation, spiritual baths, cleansing, Reiki treatments. Yeah, I'm trying to name them all. I don't know all of them, you know. All the many other practices. Chanting, going on soul retrieval quests. Sometimes I do a reading and think that I didn't learn that lesson, but then I didn't learn something else about that lesson about me that, you know, before, you know, I had to master one area, but then, you know, now this is coming out. I'll be sitting here like, damn, Spirit talking to me too in this message. Dang. Man, beautiful. I love stuff like this because, you know, you don't have to be at any certain point in your spiritual growth process to be ready to give back, to be ready to spread the love, share the love, you know. It don't matter if you in the most of karmic of cycles at the time, at the moment. It don't matter if you going through hell and high water at that moment in time. Just the fact of even wanting to, share out, and help others because of what it is that you're going through. Like, man, I want to share my story just, so other people can know what it is that I'm going through. So then, they don't feel like they're alone going through this, because hell, I know I ain't the only one going through this. And sometimes, and also that's healing within itself. I'm not the only one, going through what it is that I'm going through. I'm not the only one, just struggling with this or whatever this is. And being able to find that empowering moment to speak about it, to put it out, that's a form of venting, and being able to process something and not just internalizing and struggle with it mentally as well. And then, it's healing in all essence, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and then be able to touch somebody else, and now somebody else is like, man, I was going through that same thing. Or like, man, I know somebody going through that, and then not forming your own little soul tribe off of that. Not saying, that's what we were talking about earlier. We could belong to many a tribes. Shoot, by all of this, we done got so mixed around in the earth, in the world. There were the original 12 tribes. But it all started off with one, whether you believe in Adam and Eve, whether you believe in evolution. There's always a start. There's always a beginning. There's always a end, And it all originated from the same thing, somehow, some way, some shape, some form, regardless of which arena of belief and lifestyle is applied to you. That's for you. That's your personal, growth and relationship. Me sitting talking to God, is that's my personal relationship with God. That's my personal relationship with Source, with Spirit, Gaia, whatever that it is that you choose to use. Because even going back to the Bible, the Bible says that He's a God of many names, and they just listed a few in there. So who's to say that God isn't the same and Spirit is one and the same? Who's to say that that isn't true? Who's to say that God and Zeus and sure, what's the rest of Hades and going into all the Roman. Who's to say that, and ISIS and all, who's to say that just was the names that they had at that time, at that period? The God of many names. We ain't gonna know all them names. We weren't there. And they didn't have computers. It's not documented of so many cultures and religions and scrolls and texts are lost, missing. We even missing books in the Bible. The Bible's not even complete. Could it have another half of the list of these dang on names that's up in there? For all we know. We don't know. We ain't gonna know. So it's not just, being so seclusive to, this is just what it is because this is what's physically here and tangible and see. We don't see air and gravity. But they here, ain't they? They sure enough is. They sure is. And it's just really, really taking that and then applying that to literally anything and everything. One way is not just it's not the one way or the best way. It may be the best way for you. And we raise our kids, through that way, but then we let them off and we set them free, and it's up to them to find their own way and their path that's the best for them. The way that we raise them, we just have to raise them to be the very best people that they can possibly be, while allowing them to discover themselves and find out their path and their true purpose and their true meaning. Hell, for all I know, I'm raising my son to be spiritual. He might grow up and be Buddhist for all I know. I don't know. As long as he's a good man and treating women right and doing the right thing and really have a sense of character and love and peace and respect, hey, that's all I ever wish for. That's all I want. He's happy. That's all I want. Him to be happy happy and loving and receiving love and spreading love. But also that starts with me. I gotta do that, and so he can see it. Not just hear it, but also see it. And because I am his first role model. So, but yeah, that's why I wanted to talk to y'all. So definitely had to retract that because mentally, my ego was like, ooh, that's a good one. My emotions was backing that up, but also kind of pulling against it. And I had no play up in there. Well, a little bit of play. I received a message, but I misinterpreted logically, off of what was going on. And then it was a full moon too, so the little emotions, and so it probably came out a little bit more blunt. It was a full moon in Sag. See, look, didn't even think about that. And Sag is one of my sons, and that's in my house of communication. And y'all know Sagittarius are blunt. Like, we don't mean to, hurt people's feelings or, and it's a lot of times where we're misunderstood in communication because we can even present like, well, I said it in the nicest way possible, but like, yeah, but there was still another better way. That was the best way we came up with, but there's a better way. And, I had to go and sit back and sit and resonate, make sure I went down my checklist and balanced and talked to spirit and, got a message from spirit and then was able to take that and then apply it in the way that needs to be. Like, I could sit up here and say, like, one moment was I sitting up here thinking about anything that came out of my mouth. And last night, I could truly say it was a couple of times I had to like, okay, well, and so lesson learned. Now I know, like, okay, so if I'm sitting here thinking, it's like, okay, let me just wait on spirit. I'm just gonna wait on God. Let go and let God. And sometimes you do something, you gotta go back and recheck yourself. I'm like, is that gonna go the way that my heart wants it to go out of love? And you kind of gotta think about that, like, it may be like, okay, let me, redo something. That's all it is. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. That was some beautiful numbers, though. When I had looked up, it was 4437. I like all three sets of those numbers. And then you add 3, 4, 7, and 10, and 44 double numbers, and master ascended numbers, and then the 8, infinity, and you keep going and flowing. And then you got 3, the Trinity, spirituality, mind, body, and soul, and 7 is, the biblical number of completion, and then you break down 7 is 3 or 4, and then you have 33 right there, and then that's a master ascended number, and then you got 4, and that's a foundation, and okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, everything below the drop box. Until next time, peace out, y'all. Peace out.